but we gotta respect not just the women, respect each other in the room. Period. And believe me, uh, people know my position on a whole lot of things, and I have to thank Ray because Ray know that Gregory say, and I ain't afraid to say who I am. You can Google me. I'm very public, and but you know what, Ray? Thank you for saying that because and like Malcolm, when we have a body of work, people ask me all the time, Madison and Diana, they say, Gregory, why are you? They call this Fight Club. My family call it Fight Club. They don't call it Clubhouse. They say, you back on Fight Club? And I said, well, guess what, Malcolm? I said, I can guarantee you most of the people in this room, or most of the people that we know, how many people in your building do you talk to? How many people across the street, around the corner? How many people, your co-workers, do you have real conversations with? And most people will say they don't. They almost say they don't talk, they just speak, maybe speak. This is where people get off right here now on this internet. And it's really interesting, and they have nothing to say in their own family, with their own family, or in their own neighborhood. That's pretty deep.
You're absolutely right. Because can I make one suggestion real quick? 1 second, I'll go.
Okay.
Because you talk about, well, I don't know Trump's community service record or his previous public servant laws, but that's the thing. People talk about her, and she has been a public service quite a bit of her life. She's been voted in, of course. But the ones that are talking about her haven't even volunteered for a flag football team with the kids. So it's kind of interesting that people can criticize a person's life's work, whether you agree with her policies or whatever it is. You don't like the way she looks or she thinks she's, whatever it is. I don't understand. Like, how can you criticize someone? Well, you can, but why would you want to criticize someone, and you've not done the work?
Yeah.
Not you in particular, no one here in particular, but it's just rhetorical.
Well, I want to recommend for those who have this newfound concern about black men going to jail. There's 50 state attorneys, and we all have a state attorney. We should now, or that person should now contact their own state attorney, who they're living under, to check their record on locking up black people. So if we're concerned about what she did in the state we don't live in, for those not from California, that she did 10 years ago, to my knowledge, 2014, it would seem like that same person would have a passion for 2024, 25, with the state where they're a legal voter, to make sure their state is not doing the egregious things that they're saying Sister Harris did. I mean, because we live in the present, we don't live in the past. And so those are, the beautiful thing about on paper or email, whatever you want to call it. And you can write other state attorneys, because you're showing an interest in the state attorney of California if you're not from California. So I'm in Ohio. Write mines if you don't live in Ohio. Write Colorado's. Make sure state attorneys now are not marking up our people unfairly.
Malcolm, I think you're in the matrix, brother.
That's a concern of yours. And that's not facetious. I'm being serious, because it sounds contradictory.
Well, Malcolm, it's easy to say we live in the past. We don't live in the past, we live in the present. But it seems like whoever drinks that MAGA Kool-Aid loves to weaponize this war's past. And whether it's factual or not, they don't give a shit. They're just going to spit it out there saying, she did this, she locked up 2 million people, when they have no facts to back that.
What's up, Ray?
How about we try Jake, Greg?
I know.
Put your glasses on, man. Yo, who's that in PTR? Are you using your son's picture again?
God damn, boy. How you doing?
Man, any day I wake up is a great day. I got some incredible people on the stage. I can't even tell you how much I love Miss Madison. Because you may not agree with her, but she keeps it real.
They say they was getting ready to go get some sleep now that they have Jay back on the stage, the main man.
Stop the cap.
No,
But I
I'm telling
can
you,
rest
you-
well now, Jay, that I know
Yes.
you're here. I can actually go to sleep.
Right, I read the comments, but I just wanted to say I appreciate all of you all. We don't know each other. Some of us might meet in real life, but we could agree to disagree. And I really appreciate just the look that I've heard, and want to let you know that hopefully, with all these conversations, somebody will be able to make a difference in the lives of somebody, even if it's family members or neighbors, etc. And if we won't take this knowledge or information or talk and just let it go in vain. That's all.
Yeah, listen, this was fun. Hi, Jay. Shauna was here. We didn't kill each other. It was wonderful with Madison, Rachel, and Hakima, but I don't think I ever heard from Dr. Georgia, but we've been here for hours, and it's just been a really awesome conversation. So,
Diane, I guarantee Jordan's sleeping. He's out in California.
what'd you say?
I said Jordan's in California. I'm pretty sure he's sleeping.
That's where she is, but she's a night owl like me. I'm in California too. I haven't stayed up this late in such a long time, but I would try to go to sleep, and then somebody would come and wake the hell up, like the whole room, and then like Rachel was saying, you know how like you can't go to sleep after that. Once you're engaged in the conversation, it's all downhill. I don't even think I'm gonna be able to go to sleep now, but I have to go try, or at least go and get my date going. But this was really fun. Yeah, maybe we'll do it again sometime soon. Where's Roger? I haven't seen.
Roger got clipped. Kelly got clipped. They'll be back probably this week.
For what? Why did they get clipped?
I signed an NDA. I can't really say, but they'll be back
Spill
this
it,
week.
Jay. Spill it.
Nah, they just, listen, Roger stands on this square, and we're having a fun room. It was kind of in jest about how, because Kelly got clipped first, and we were like, Roger was like, well, why all the white women getting clipped at election time? And it was kind of in jest about, if you guys know Roger, he likes to play around, and he put it in the title, so they clipped him for that. This is how screwed up they are, though.
Are you kidding me? They clipped him
No.
with the title? Well, the
Yeah,
title.
the title.
The title.
The title.
What was the title? White people only.
Why are white women getting clipped off the app? But Kelly, they let Kelly. I swear this is no exaggeration. I think Akima was there. They let Kelly back on literally for 2 minutes, and then they clipped her again, and she didn't even say anything other than "thank you." That's all she said. They clipped her.
Well, one person probably clipped her, and then the other person said no, and then the other person said yeah.
When you say they, Jay, who is they?
The clubhouse officials.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so right, and so which means they listening right now to everything
100%
we
they
say.
are. 100% they are.
I always do that.
But not only that,
Yeah.
someone could have reported in the room or something, and that was a thing. So you just never know.
Yeah,
But
but
how
Jay,
is the title? Why? I mean, maybe I'm totally off though. But is Vincent? Did you want to jump in? Sorry.
yeah, no, I was there. Just quickly, and I saw everything Jay said was right. I don't know whether Roger went over this is something that I don't know. Whether it was just the title or whether Roger personally contacted Paul or anyone. I don't know. That's knowledge I don't know, but they were definitely listening into that room. And Kelly came back. She was there for 2 minutes. 2 minutes, everyone was celebrating, going, "Yeah, this is sick." Okay, great. And then she was clipped, and then Roger was clipped. So yeah, it's a weird situation.
Well, let me say this. I got lucky because Kelly and Roger are both my friends offline. We've cultivated a friendship. I really think that's what this app should be about. Jordan's a friend of mine offline, but Kimo is afraid to give me his number, which I understand. But we're friends, and I got to be honest. Listen, when somebody screws up, I'm the first one to point it out. I don't think they did anything wrong. But remember, we scream freedom of speech, but there's also terms of service on this app. You have to abide by terms of service, and if it's very subjective, yeah.
And I think they have appeals But also Roger's on, what's Chatter, so he can still speak.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're under threat now. Clubhouse more so than probably. I think Fanbase was a minor threat, but Chatter is a much more potent threat to their app. They've even responded by like doing things that were very simple, like allowing DMs by text, which they should have done for like a year.
Hey, Vincent, hold on 1 second, please. I apologize. Hey, City Boy, they are my friends, and I can guarantee you, and you're not going to believe me because of who I am, but they're the farthest thing from racist. The farthest thing from racist. Sorry, Vincent, go ahead.
City boys. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're not my personal friends offline, but I spent probably far too many hours listening to their rooms and listening to them speak, and I've never really heard Roger or Kelly say anything racist. That's my perspective, and I'll stand on that. But yeah, I think Chatter is an imminent threat to Clubhouse, and I think Clubhouse has even responded with features. Whether Chatter will fail or succeed, I don't know, because tech companies or startups or even social audio apps generally have a low rate of success, but there is an alternative now. So I don't know. You as you said, Jay, like there are terms of service, but when it's not uniformly applied, people might take their business elsewhere or their conversations.
Well, Vincent, eventually, let me just say this. So they asked me to join the house. They asked me to host room, be a leader in the house. And I was honored, honestly, because I like both of them. And when I joined this house, I had 28,000 followers in this house. I believe we're at almost 37,000. I've only been part of this house for maybe 4 or 5 months. So on a dying app that doesn't have a lot of people, if you can grow your house by 5, 6, 7,000 people in such a short period of time, those are the content creators you want. They're not doxing anybody. Are we not allowed to argue with each other or disagree? It just doesn't make sense why you take 2 of the biggest influencers on this app off this app.
How long have they been gone? Is it a short period of time?
Well, Kelly's been, he was suspended. Then they let her back on. Literally, Rachel, no bullshit, 2 minutes, if that. And then they kicked her off again. So she's been gone for, I'm going to say 2 weeks. Roger's a couple of days. And Roger, let me tell you, from the conversations I've had with him, he likes Chatter. He has no problem with moving this house over there. So, it's just sad. It's sad. We really, free speech is no speech. That's what they want.
They said that you did it, Jay, so that you can have his room. That's what I heard.
Well, I'll tell you what, Greg. I'll tell you, no, I'm glad you brought that up because I run rooms every day in this house, but I said to both of them, I said in protest, I won't open any more rooms, and they both told me, don't do that. Continue to open your rooms.
So why haven't you guys migrated the whole community over there?
They own it. You know what? I believe. I'm just being honest. I know y'all gonna say this is a conspiracy theory, but I think they own Jerry and what's their boy name, Jonathan and not boy, but I mean, you know what I mean, the young
Wait
man.
a second, who owns them?
I think Clubhouse owned that whole thing too, because I think they phasing out Clubhouse and they phasing people.
That's not even remotely.
It's in
But
20
why
in the
want to be on
morning.
2 platforms? I think it's great that because some people don't want to go over there because maybe their phone, it's a whole new app. I mean, I like when it closes down over there earlier than I would like sometimes. So I like coming to Clubhouse because it's going to be open late, like we are now.
So, Gregory, hold on a second. Chat is still in beta. They've only released maybe 30% of their features. Trust me, when that app is a fully functioning app, this is going to be like, when the old Western movies, you see the tumbleweeds, that's going to be Clubhouse. So people are going to migrate over there once they really hear about it.
Yeah, if I go over there, I'm gonna. I told myself that I would never just contribute again. I've done that humbly, but I would definitely bring the Chicago city, with all of the very different podcasters and people here that's not on neither one of these platforms. If I do it again, I'll definitely bring that energy in.
Gregory, and Chad would appreciate the Chicago community, but let me just say this. I'm not friends with Jonathan or Nelson. I am friends with Jerry, he's a good man, but none of them are owned by Clubhouse. Nelson, whatever people think about the man, took the initiative, came up with the idea, put it together, put his own money up to get that app off the ground. So I can personally guarantee you, Clubhouse doesn't want them to succeed and doesn't own them.
Well, that's good. I fell out with them over that COVID stuff. But we talked a little bit because I thought with Copeland, Dr. Copeland, whatever his name, Copeland, they were just totally out of control with that crap. They were selling that mess.
There were people that didn't agree with Copeland.
Oh no, I know a lot of people didn't, but I had to go
Yeah.
to Hocus for Fifth room that I moderated. But
you went to the rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I brought Dr. Ali. And let me tell you something. I brought Dr. Ali Muhammad when he beat up Fauci regarding that whole AIDS thing.
Oh wait, Greg, did you see that Fauci has West Nile virus now? He's sick.
No, they said he's finally healing. Thank God. They thought he was gonna cross over.
Wow.
He's at home now, correct? Or
yeah, they said that he's better.
was he traveling? I didn't read the article. Traveling or? Do you know, Diana?
I don't know, but I have that.
I gotta read the
pinned.
article.
Hold on.
Rachel, sounds like it's gonna be a movie. Sounds like they're gonna make a movie soon.
I don't know. I am not the conspiracy theorist, but
So I have a question for the people on stage. I was here with Jordan last night when we started the room, and it went all night, obviously. What would you say was a greater percentage of people pro-Trump or pro-Kamala?
I think seems like pretty equal to me. We didn't really, everybody was keeping their ideas close to the vest, except some people, but I couldn't tell, and I wouldn't pay attention, but
How's your life?
I don't know. What do you think, Diana? Madison?
I think the interesting thing is not only did we have voices from both sides, we had the third party voices in here were pretty strong too. We had the whole conversation with regards to RFK and how he's still also saying that he could win should the election be contested. I will tell you that I think on the Trump side, if we were giving out trophies for the debate team, they would get a little more upset trophy, right? Like they were just a little madder. We had to throw them down a couple more times in the audience than, let's just say, the Harris or the Harris supporters, if that makes sense.
Makes sense to me.
MAGA people, I'm talking about hardcore MAGA. They don't back. They stand on their square, even if they know they're wrong. But we ran a room yesterday. Is America ready for a woman president? And I'm like, hell yeah, let's get this woman in. They're like, we don't know her policies. Well, we're gonna find out before election day what her policies are. She's gonna do interviews. She's gonna do a debate. But I think a lot of men are intimidated by a strong woman.
Whoa.
I'm not voting for her, but I love women. I would vote for her.
How many countries in the world have female leaders or have had?
Yeah, the U.S. is late on that. But it was a really civil discussion, Jay, for the most part, and it sounded like we were having more of a discussion than just people just trying to be right. We were actually exchanging ideas.
I love that. But let me say this. Hold on. Let me say this. And this is a fact that nobody's going to change my mind on. This woman, her entire career was about helping people. That's it. His career was about enriching and empowering himself. I don't know how people don't see that. And it's amazing to me. Let me tell you something, Madison. You know I love you like a fat kid loves cake. But the misogynistic view of Americans is so bizarre to me. You know, it took, 240, 250 years old, our country? And all it's been is fuck-ups by men. Give women a chance. They raised us.
And what if it were your mother?
Masculinity mansion, huh?
Or your
Fucking
niece?
little bitch.
Yeah, that can't be your nephew.
What a
niece or
stupid
your
little
aunt.
bitch. Just vote for her because she's got a vagina.
I mean, I think that's a whole different conversation in terms of if it's about qualification. Women are amazingly qualified, and none of us. I know me personally. I would be on this line with you guys and would be talking and doing the things that I'm doing in life if it were not for women at all.
Well, Gregory,
That's all.
Gregory, let me tell you, it's just my opinion from hosting these rooms, right? I think America had such a bad taste in their mouth after Hillary Clinton lost. I hope that blowback doesn't fall on Ms. Harris. By the way, why do we say Trump and not Ms. Harris? Why don't we show her the grace we show him?
Show him the grace.
Hillary,
Show her the grace.
To me, she was horrible.
She did, but I'd also say, if you look at the Anglosphere, like, there is an issue with women getting elected. Like, in Australia, for example, there's been one female prime minister. In England, you had Thatcher, who was like Reagan-like in her dynamism. But then I think Liz Truss was, she wasn't elected and she was in there for like 3 days, a couple of 30 days or whatever. And then before her, there was one other woman that's slipping my mind. I don't think Canada has that.
You bring up England. The most powerful, influential leaders they've ever had were the
Hi, DJ Pack. This is your handler and producer from the CIA. I just want to let you know we're releasing your Netflix film this upcoming week, so we're going to fly you out to Hollywood to be in the world premiere. We can't thank you enough for all your insanity, derangement, and absolute unmental health. You're totally whacked, but we love the pack, and we can't wait to send you your first royalty check. Congratulations, DJ Pack. Oh, you've been up all night doing coke and sucking dick? I understand. You're tired. No worries. We'll send you the check in the mail.
No, people don't talk about it. I do. I don't really give a shit. There's a misogynistic
Is the war in Ukraine based on misogyny?
She's pink with purple polka dots.
Polka dots! She's a big polka dot!
But she's actually more qualified than the ticket that's running now. Their combined experience, she's more qualified. And you spoke about England. I've served as presidents in Argentina, Brazil, Liberia, South Korea, the prime ministers in Canada, Denmark, Germany, the UK. So,
Miss Madison, Miss Madison, let me ask you, why do you think that is in America more than any other country? Misogynistic, racist.
Yeah, you already said it, Jay. And the thing about it is that we don't have any problem, and we haven't for the last, with the exception of 46 presidents voting for white men over and over again. Some that have done okay jobs, some that have done horrible jobs. None to me, really did a great job overall. And we have no problem with that. Every 4 years, it's the same thing.
Well, not only have a woman not been elected, Biden is only the second non-Protestant. Besides JFK and Biden, the two Catholics, everyone else has been a Protestant.
You know what? And I think the nature of women will be so much different in terms of that energy of people starving, and people suffering. I think women have a divine nature to the degree where, like with with children, etc., they care more. They care different. They care more spiritual. They fair, etc. To me, I wouldn't say all, but the majority of the women that's been in my life, they just different when it comes to peace. They different when it comes to order. And I think the world would be better. I think even when it comes to Wall Street, when it comes to the wealth gap, when it comes to even these manufactured wars, I think the woman. But we do know that if she's in office, is she gonna be like, to me, Barack Obama didn't run anything. He was a manager and a great speaker, but are they managers? So I don't think we should fool ourselves to think that they calling the shots anyway.
Well, Gregory,
So
Gregory, let me just say
surround
this.
themselves.
Gregory, let me just say this real quick. A lot of people like to bring up her prosecutorial record, right?
For prosecutorial
The
misconduct?
number 1,700, 1,800 men were incarcerated. That's a falsehood. She created a diversion program so they didn't have to go to state prison. So I think 95% of those people that were arrested and prosecuted went into the diversion program. They went to state prison. But people don't talk about that. They just want to say they got arrested. Well, what were they doing to put themselves in that position?
Yeah, they got arrested up to 45, went to the state prison, into the Back on Track program. It had such a successful rate that program is used all over the country now.
Yeah, I think.
You see, no, but you see, Greg, but Greg, nobody talks about what Miss Madison just dropped a gem.
A
They
gem?
don't talk about that. They'll talk about her prosecuting these people, but they won't talk about how it got adjudicated.
Well, Jay, this is one of the things that when you asked what has taken place in the last few hours that we've been hosting, that has been a pattern. So we heard somebody, while you were on the stage, say that there were 2 million people who she had incarcerated. And one of the things that we talked about was, like the misinformation, censorship, how one of the reasons that I think it's been really smart for Kamala to not do interviews is because of all of, I don't know if you guys have seen the types of AI videos and clips and just the way they twist her
People are
words
so
and
fucking
campaign
whack.
against her. It's awful to me. And, I am for free speech, but I gotta tell you, this election really makes me wonder if we're having to face, like what Gavin Newsom told Elon, that if he continues to do that, he's ready to file a lawsuit against him. And the way that technology is being utilized, I mean, the Republicans are saying that the election was stolen because of tech. I honestly think that this is a horrible way to run a campaign, and making her see, like they did a campaign where, to somebody who's not really paying attention, it really could mess with the way that they are processing things and obtaining information and repeating the information. And it didn't matter tonight that we would pick articles, quote people, nothing. It's almost as if it just doesn't matter. And that's where we talk amongst ourselves sometimes and say, okay, well, we do have to, especially as the election gets closer, we can choose where it is that we spend our time literally campaigning, right? If this is going to be important for us. So I just wanted to share that piece of information.
Well, it's confirmation bias. I mean, people have to learn how to think for themselves. I mean, they did that with the vaccine, right? They were looking up information left and right. But if it's something that they want to believe, they don't even take the time to do it.
And to your point, Madison, we've been reading, and you have to read. You can't repeat, or I heard. You cannot heard your way out of this life. I mean, you can, but you'll be misinformed, ill-informed, and disinformed. It's just not possible with something that's important. Whatever's important to you, you'll look for it. But if you're going to repeat what someone said, you have to consider the source.
Yeah, and then even some of the things you read as a source, that doesn't mean that. I mean, it carries a prejudice. It carries, its own narrative, so you can reread. And there's just some stuff that is they book and they research. So I think for me, I deal with the reading part, thank God, but then I also deal with how I feel. And I go by that. And I mean, for me, I'm not a fan of hers, just based on what I've picked up, and then the people that's around her. So that have turned me off.
Well,
Greatly.
let me say this, Greg. It's going to be Trump is so desperate that he used AI, speaking of the subject, to generate an AI picture of Taylor Swift endorsing him, which she hasn't. But he knows she carries a lot of sway. She's a public figure. She's an influencer. The Swifties, they're loyal to that woman. And she had to come out and disown that picture and say, wait a second, I didn't endorse this dude. But let me say good morning to the librarian. What's up, librarian? How you doing, my friend?
Al, you're welcome.
What's up, bro? Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Taylor Swift has so much pull that any brand or anybody that she endorsed, that's one of the most powerful endorsements you can have in music at this moment. So I can see why somebody would want to fraudulent that endorsement.
Not just music and like culture. It's like she moves economies when she like travels around. But I agree with you though. But I think there is a sense that there are ideologues now at this point. I'm not American, but obviously this election affects me profoundly as an Australian. In ways, in a multitude of ways. But I think when I hear Americans speak, there's a certain percentage of people who are almost, just ideologues. They're either like super MAGA or super Democrat, and then there's people in the middle of that who are still willing to have like a nuanced, interesting discussion, But there are, I don't know what the percentage would be, but there are people who are just ride or die ideologues at this point.
Well, Vincent, let me just get Rachel.
So I was going to ask you, well, we know that she has the, I don't know, is it millennial vote or mainly, or is it the Gen Z? But can you think of a celebrity that you follow to vote? I mean, is their endorsement of someone, do you think you would vote because a celebrity endorsed the person?
Rachel, not myself, but that demographic between 18 and let's say 25, I believe that she could move the needle. She's that type of influencer.
Well, that's what I said. We understand that, but I'm saying as adults, do you think that adults would follow a celeb endorsement of someone?
They follow Trump. They follow Trump.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Rachel, most people, the electorate in America and elsewhere, most people aren't even willing to have this sort of a conversation or invest this much sort of time. So, if a lot of the electorate, that could move the needle. A few percentage points in a few states could change the election.
Yeah, I think people follow memes. They see a meme, they assume that it's correct, they don't research it, they tell another person, or they share the meme. And before you know it, it's like vote for whoever you want to. But at least make sure that you have the correct information. It's such a travesty to have your feelings swayed without having the actual fact.
Only to do that.
Well, I'll say this: if she was to endorse Miss Harris,
Yeah,
and she did it in, let's say, Pennsylvania or Michigan or any of these other swing states, went on one of those stages, rest assured, Miss Harris is going to win that state. I wholeheartedly believe.
How many of them are over the age of 18?
And how many of them are registered to vote still?
We gotta look at that too, you know.
Oh, trust me. If the public knew that she was going to hold a rally in Philly or Pittsburgh, one of these Pennsylvania states that swing states, they would have people registering to vote before they walk through the endorsement.
I don't see. It's going to be a phenomenal to see. I mean, just to witness young people do something different when it comes to this whole political game. Even though they have the Taylor Swifts and the different celebrities, just like when Oprah got up on the stage of Barack, the magical cat. For me, you know, I don't see it. I think it turns. So I think it works. But then on the other hand, I think I said this before you got in the room. When you have too much of that on one side, I believe it's sending another message to white people that even though she's married to a white man, but you believe me, that mindset in America is still prevalent. And I believe some of them, when it comes to at that date, that time, they're gonna. I think they're gonna vote their fears. I think they're gonna vote their fears.
Well, the man
I don't think it's
also,
gonna be the debate.
he's also Jewish, so that's a big block of people too.
But
So
don't they say Jewish people own everything? So
Who's say that?
Who's they, money? Who says
Yeah,
that?
who says that?
so
Because I've been hearing. Hold on, money. I've been hearing for my whole life that Jews own the media. If that's the case, they're doing a horrible job with PR with this woman.
right? You know what's funny? When you control both sides, you never lose, right? So it doesn't, you know. It's like the people that are saying Jews own everything, which is not. They're not saying anything wrong, right? They're not. It's not like they're saying false claims, things like that.
It is false, man. No. It is false. Hey, Money, check this out. Your name is Money. Tell me one Jew that owns the top 10 major banks in the world. I mean, one Jew.
But I can tell you who started the banking that you know. Right?
I'm talking about today.
Don't say the name. Don't say
You feel?
No, it begins with an R because we don't even know those people. But anyway.
No. These. So check this out, right? You're gonna tell me that the news media is not owned by Jews? Entertainment.
About banking.
No, he's angling.
No, he's
angling.
About banking.
That's the only way he's gonna listen. I could guarantee you, there's Jewish people in the banking world, heavily.
Wait, hold on. Time out. Flag on the play.
You're angling.
Okay. I'm not angling anything.
You want to play pickup? I want to play NBA back.
Okay, I'm gonna play NBA 2K right now.
That's not real bad.
Give me. All right, I got Jordan over LeBron. But give me the top 10 companies, entertainment companies in the world that are owned by Jews. Give me a list. Pin it in the chat.
Look at all the record labels. All owned by Jews. Hands down. Guaranteed.
The top 10 are owned by Jews?
More like top 5.
Well, you know we're gonna look it up, but I do agree. I think he chose.
Look it
No.
up.
Wait a second. I think he chose the wrong industry. But certainly entertainment is key. But he said banking.
But that's why he said banking. But you see, even banking was started.
I'll even say the news is not. I'm not deflecting. You're saying entertainment. I'm saying. No, because you're not paying. You're just gonna stand on your square. And I'm saying pin proof in a chat, and we'll have that discussion. But as far as entertainment, by who? Just because you say it's proven?
No, we all know. Everybody in this room. Hold on a second. We're not arguing. Everybody in this room knows. Even Rachel knows that the entertainment. That's what she said. I picked the right industry, and so did you. for your argument, but you're standing on your square. I gotta stand on mine.
And stand on yours.
Wouldn't that mean that they would vote for her? Would that not? For her husband to be the first gentleman? What are you saying?
Be the first gentleman.
Well, the vice president, her choice, the vice president.
Her husband, I'm saying.
You don't care for a vice, a first man, or what is it, first husband?
First gentleman is, because I'm not certain.
It would be the first gentleman. Her husband now is the second gentleman.
Okay, second gentleman. Yeah, I'm saying for him to be first gentleman. And I'm not going to use that word the way that you use it. It sounds, ugh.
Which one?
Yeah, anyway.
The first gentleman?
No, not that one. The way you say that other word is kind of, ugh, gives me creeps, but
Jews?
the way you say it, I didn't say the word. Yeah, the way you say it, but I'm saying, I just said that that's a big voting block, and I still have that contention. It is a huge voting block, and there's nothing wrong with it. Who was the person that was running? Someone else. You guys help me. Who else was in the race that was of that?
Oh, wasn't it Bill? What do you mean, like to be the first husband?
No, I think it was a presidential candidate.
Bernie
No,
Sanders.
presidential candidate.
Bernie Sanders? You talking about Bernie Sanders?
I'm not sure. I thought there was another one, just.
He backed down. Wasn't it Ramaswamy, but he backed down?
No, I'll Google it. I'll Google it.
Bernie was Jewish, and they ousted him no, they as in what could be inferred as the Democratic Party ousted him.
Yeah, not because he was Jewish, but sure. I'm not sure.
I wasn't
They
inferred.
got Crooked Rum Emmanuel still running around.
I will repeat what I said. I said that that's a big voting block for her because of her husband. And that's all I said. And then you said something to the effect of, what did you say that was contradicting that money?
What did I say?
Did you mean? I don't know, but you sounded like you were saying that wasn't a big voting block for her.
The Jews?
There you go with the
No,
word.
I'm sorry. Well, that's their name. I can't call them anything else. What do you want me to call
But
them?
if you say the blacks, nobody says anything. I think that's what we gotta stop it.
Jews?
They gotta,
Alright, so
nobody gets to pass. Jay is right, but honestly, we gotta stop that because anytime somebody says something that blacks, it's never anti-black. It's never. It's so that sensitivity sometimes is over the top.
It's like me saying the Mexicans. I said that, the Dominicans. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna use the word man. I'm sorry.
I would.
Well, hold on, Vincent, hold on. Just like the black community, the Jewish community is not a monolith. So I just wanted to tag on.
Nobody's a monolith, alright? Like,
No, I was just going to argue to that point. I would say, I don't know, I haven't really spent much time researching it, but given the fact that Kamala Harris will have to be way more restrained in dealing with the Gaza, Palestinian, and Israeli issue, Trump will give carte blanche to Netanyahu, so that might be a heavy incentivization for a lot of Jews to vote for Trump. I don't know.
Well, hold on. Most Jews are historically democratic, just like, it's a polarized statement. Most black people in America have been historically democratic.
No, I
Let me mention. Oh, Vincent, let me finish. Hold on. Don't ask one of your questions. Money in the two communities, the black community and the Jewish community, even though I've been told there is no such thing as a black community, but let's just, for argument's sake, say there is a black community. In those two communities, where is there more division? What's your feeling?
where is there more division?
Yeah, where's there more division?
Depends if you're talking about rich black, rich Jew, poor black. What we talking about?
I'm talking about the average American black, the average American Jew.
I mean, the average American, I don't see any. Now, the below average, right, when we talking about where they struggling, just like every other community that's struggling, there's division, there's killing, there's robbing, everything. When you talk about my neighbors, they're chilling. They're having barbecues, relaxing, on both sides. I got a little bit of everything by me, but yeah, the most division that is publicized on TV, right? For manipulation, I would say black.
And that's because it's Jews on media.
Right. Okay. Well, guess what's also owned by Jews? Music. And there's division. What's the biggest dividing genre of music known right now? Dividing genre of music, and who owns them?
Here we talking about rap. Well, I was thinking of
drill though, because I like rap. I like rap, right? Rap's like LL Cool J, Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? Smooth, nice rhythm. We're talking about drill, this new shit. Good. You can't dance to it, you can't talk to a girl, you know, while listening to this. You're only thinking about killing and murder. That's the drill. But that's what's being pushed right now. And who pushes it? What company? Owned by?
I was thinking about
It-
Shapiro.
it like
That's
that.
what I was thinking of.
Like what company is it?
You know, Rachel always
So
wondered
Empire,
years ago.
yeah, Interscope, Empire. Those are the big ones right now. Not really Def Jam anymore, but definitely Interscope and Sony. Come on, like Sony. Yeah, so that's what I would say. Like
Only a Japanese company.
but Sony has a record. I went to Sony Music in New York City. Trust me, they ain't Japanese up there, bro. I'm sorry.
Is there a demand for this music? This drill music?
Unfortunately, yeah, I would say yeah, but it's not my age.
Hold on a second, honey. I want to ask Ms. Madison a question because she's in media. And she has been in media for a long time. Ms. Madison, do you think that Jews dominate the media? They bring ownership?
I'm not even touching that one.
You don't want
But I will
to.
say this.
That's why she don't want to touch it, Jay. But I can tell you, I've been in the media. They have a lot of influence. Put it like that.
That's a good way to put it.
Right.
So I would change my statement. And I'll say, let's not say own. Let's say, like, I would like to agree with Gregory. I'll say influence. I'm sorry. Can I change my wording?
Well, there are a lot of people from the Jewish community that are on the legal side of the business, especially, and also on the business side of the business. Let's face it. I think that's a part of it, but it's, you know, in terms of entertainment, entertainment is also very diverse, you know. But I will say that, you know, the black community is starting to become somewhat disenchanted with the Democratic Party, and understandably so, because there have not been specific incentives and specific things, and a lot of times when you look at the things that happened during the Civil Rights Movement, they benefited, you know, others, they benefited women. Civil rights benefited the LGBT community and a lot of other communities as well as us, but there are not specific programs or the lack thereof, just like there was a big Asian hate bill that happened very quickly in Congress. And then, like I said, it took, you know, decades almost for the anti-lynching bill to pass. So I think that there are a lot of young people too who don't necessarily want to just vote the same way that their parents did because they want to dissect things a little bit more. So you've got this perfect storm of all these things happening at once, and then you've got the disinformation, which is on purpose, and the misinformation, which is all the conjecture and everything that comes with where we are politically these days. So it's a lot swirling around.
Well, Ms. Madison, I'm going to make a statement. I want to know if you agree with it or not. The Democrats have cultivated a welfare state in America, keep generations of families stuck in that system, as well as a school to prison pipeline. That's the Democrats.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Well, absolutely. I think he hit it right on the head.
He's right.
Go ahead, Miss Madison. Go ahead. I'll go ahead.
I don't agree that it was cultivated. I think what you may be referring to is the crime bill, but it's more than one thing that went along with that. With the crime bill, the Congressional Black Caucus also supported the crime bill because, let's face it, during the 80s there was crime in our community, but that crime also stemmed from the crack that we now know that the CIA and Iran-Contra put in our communities. That's one of those perpetual bombs that I was talking about earlier. So it's been both parties. not just the Democrats, but I think that, there's some things that have unintended consequences in our community. And, Jay, where I stand on all of this is the original sin that, that America perpetrated, that things will never be right until it's taken care of in terms of our rightful inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to correlate a little bit of what she was saying. The crack was a generational situation where you basically touch every man, woman, and child as far as black community is concerned in some way. So that means an uncle, or aunt, a mother, or father was touched by the drug, and it was effective in the inheritance, because the prior generation that came in the 50s and the 60s, grandmoms and grandpas, they were working class people who had houses, things like that. The crack kind of siphoned out those houses and inheritance from people. They fumbled the ball with that. And then you have Generation X, which is my generation, who kind of produced the millennial. And the millennial, instead of the crack and the drugs, they were effective in attaching the LGBT community to them. And they piggybacked the black community and used them as a minority system. And they were effective in affecting the minds of young blacks in America. And so now you see a uptick in homosexuality amongst black men, also suicide amongst the black men, because once you cross certain lines, it affects you mentally. And I think what they've done is effectively get to our youth that way. So now we turn it back political. So we have real murky and dirty water. Either I have the choice of a racist in Trump, which we know is racist, or I have the choice of the LGBT, which is polluting the community on Camila's side. So it's really murky and dirty water here in the U.S. I'll land with that.
It's interesting that that's a deep perspective too. In the 80s, there was three things. It was gangster rap, it was crack cocaine, and it was AIDS. And when you think about Madison is right in this instance, right in a lot of instances. When you think, I think that what the brother was saying earlier, the peddling, and so there are songs, there's music, there's things that if it really insults and they feel like it's hurting a particular community, then they will take that off the shelf. They would take that and remove it. But when it comes to the negative stuff that affects our community, you say we should tell our children not to listen to it. No, don't play that garbage. But then it come free speech is when they can say anything they want to say when it comes to that crap. But then certain communities, if it's something in there that they feel is anti-something, then ask Michael Jackson. Then that record, you're gonna have to change the lyrics, or you're gonna have to take that record and break it up. And that's the inconsistency, the contradictions, and the hypocrisy on both sides. And I would say the Democrats, and I call them Democrats, and I call the other Republicans. 6 in one hand and a half a dozen in the other. Matt Dillon or Bob Dylan, diplomat or Republic, Fox or Wolf, Lucifer or Satan. But at the end of the day, they play us, and to the degree where, look at education, so-called education, look at this whole thing they push back on called critical race theory. And Madison is right, you got to go back to the origin, that sin, and when you come forward with it, we have not fixed that. And having symbolic gestures is a slap in our face. That's why I did not support Barack Obama, because I knew what they were doing with him. I know he was selected before he was elected. I know the cat here in Chicago. Nobody never heard of him, never busted a grape in Chicago. He called himself a community organizer. He never organized nothing in Chicago. Went out to Argyle Gardens, and it was totally unsuccessful. Ran against Bobby Rush, Bobby B. I'm just telling you, down in Springfield, doing this thing, never nothing. But they throw these things at us behind the scene. Even Barack and even Kamal. We ain't gonna talk about reparations. I'm the president for everybody. So, are we gonna get justice? Are we gonna get our fair
Are we gonna get our free motherfucking check? Is what I wanna know. Where's my money, motherfucker? Where's my money? Where's my justice?
What's the point?
Where's my reparations?
Let me just say this. It might be a polarizing statement. So I'm going to start it with I believe reparations should be made. I believe that. If they, all government,
how much, Jay? $1 million a man?
They'll know who is the.
What about my reparations, Jay?
The records are there. But in reality, and I don't think it's ever going to happen. And that bothers me. But what am I going to do about it? Right?
Nothing. You're gonna run your fucking mouth and pimp your hoes, bitch.
But, dude, the reality of the situation is, I don't believe it's ever. I mean, they started it in Illinois. They gave $25,000 grants to people. That's not enough.
It's not enough.
We can't, at least in my opinion, in America, we can't want to embrace a certain community without respecting the history of that community. Until then, we're hypocrites.
Hypocrites!
I mean, there was a bill, I can't remember what it's called, to investigate the possibility of reparations, to just study the issue, and it got voted down. And maybe if Democrats are in power, it will be brought back. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with investigating the problem for fuck's sake.
Well, Emily, in New York and in California, they had commissions. And both these commissions recommended reparations. But when they totaled up the bill and how much it was going to cost, the government was like, yeah, we don't want any part of that.
Well, you know what, Jay? Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, AIG, Barclays. I can go on and on with the number of companies that were built on the foundation of slavery. You can literally trace the money back. Fortune 500 companies that were slave owners that turned into our current banking system today. Don't think that the money is not there.
That money's there.
Oh, I know the money's there.
My money's there. It's my money, bitch. It ain't your fucking money. That money was built off of my great-great-great-great-granddaddy's dead slave body. I want my motherfucking money, bitch.
And so, there's plenty of land.
Well, Jamal,
it's not worth anything.
let me ask you a question. Jamal, let me ask you a question. If the United States government said to you, the black community, we're going to give you
40 acres.
Well, hold on, let me finish. With that landed, hold on a second. We're going to give you the land. No, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to you.
Don't mute up. No need to mute up.
The land's going to be in South Dakota. Would you take it?
If the land's in South Dakota, that's where the community, the black community would be. And that would be the best place in the country once we all move there and get it popping.
It'll be a separate country.
Where we go is where the flavor's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the reality of it is, it needs to be in the southeast corner where we're at, Mississippi, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, and Florida. You know, we need that swath of land. I know they don't want to give that, but that's where we're at. That's where we're stationed at. Yeah, unless you want
I decided the fact that slavery was legal. It was legal, but just like you inherit, from your ancestors, and you are,
you inherit their name.
Yeah.
I'm Jamal Hunter.
In Sherman Field Order 15, that was a part of that which was legal as well. And so if your fifth great grandparent owned something that's property,
And now this belongs to some white family. You're gonna get it back because that family got it from racism and slavery.
And why does it have to be in those geographic locations? Why can't we manifest destiny? Why does it have to be in Georgia, Florida, Alabama? Why can't it be in Montana, Wyoming, wherever else there's plenty of land?
Well, I mean, the reality of it is, I mean, landlocked land is not as valuable as coastal region where we can have we can own some ports.
Montana.
We're gonna own some ports. Hey, everybody, you black? You wanna own a port? It's all yours. Congratulations. You got your reparations. Does that mean you're gonna feel complete now? You can stop complaining?
I mean, that's more reasonable, but, and then the thing is, so with land though, like not all land is gonna be useful, because if you're too far outside the city center, like you're not gonna be able to use that land. You're not gonna be able to have a job.
Yeah, but you know what, Emily, let me just say this. The black community, if you give, and I'm just using the state, if you give the state of Montana, believe me, they're gonna build cities, they're gonna build communities, they're gonna rise up, I have no doubt about that. But here's the question I really have to Madison, Rachel, Jamal, Gregory, who I've had this conversation with before, Akima. What does reparations look like to you that would make the black community whole?
You know, for me, well, first of all, and Madison and I'm sure and Rachel and Jamal, look, we got to repair. And you say repair, because that we think of repair. And what does that look like to me is fertile land that we can produce food, land that we can create jobs, land that we can build on, land we need money, we need to be able to do trade and commerce. Reparations mean for us to be able to control certain industries, our own, having enough to where we can compete, so that when you go to Walmart or you go to Costco or you go to these stores and you know, Amazon, you look at all of the corporations, because America's a corporation, let's be honest. America's a corporation, and we want a piece of the action. And we want enough of the action to where you're going to get on my airline, our own Spirit, our own Southwest, or our own one that can compete with them. And that's reparation, is being in position to where I'm the credit union, I'm the bank. I ain't got to worry about going over to Chase or Wells Fargo. That's reparation, is being able to have that billions or trillions of dollars to where now I can do business with other foreign nations. I can do business with Ghana. I can do business with whatever, South America. That's reparation, is being able not to have the same people controlling the wealth, the 1 or 2% of the people that control the wealth. We have a piece of it. Now we making the clothes. Now we doing this. You know, we've been exploited as a community. And I mean, some of that is our fault. You know, Jay, when you look at the nail shops, who owns Dunkin' Donuts, now they even making chicken and fish. You know, the Arabs, they own all of the gas stations. I mean, my God, nothing, everything in our community we don't own, and that is a crime.
Well, the land answers a lot of it, because the reality of it is this.
There are black banks and credit unions. No one is stopping from doing business. You want to steal taxpayer money for slavery that no one alive today was involved in. All lies.
And so just hold up to the agreement. You don't have to do more. And you could throw in a John Deere if you want. It doesn't matter. But the 40 acres is what was agreed. And then as far as that's concerned, if folks want to sell their acreage off or do whatever they want to do to materialize it into U.S. capital, that's their choice. If you want to use some of that and parlay that into business of your choice, that's your choice. If you just want to keep the land, that would be your choice. But they need to honor what the agreement was. The agreement was 40 acres. Break off the 40 acres. Now, where should that be located? Should it be in one state or another state? Well, if you have a voucher to purchase 40 acres, I should be able to purchase it wherever I'm at. In my home state, wherever I'm able, I should be able to purchase. If I can find it on the market, I should be able to use my voucher and purchase the land. If that's divided into 4 or 5 different sectors of the country, as long as it adds up to the 40 acres, that's reparations. Period.
This is an issue about thinking, as I'm listening, trying to learn. I can't help but think how America treated the American Indians, right? They gave them land, but it was land that couldn't be cultivated. It was land that couldn't be. There was no agriculture on these land, and I think what's being asked for is reasonable. But how do we get to other people, the people that are against it, to actually listen?
Well, Jay, apologize. Jay, to answer your question, for me, I honestly don't know the answer to your question. I don't know what would suffice for reparations.
What I have a problem with the land is, I mean, sure, I just don't know if that would be setting anybody up for failure. And why I say that is because depending on the land, most land just by itself, depending on where it is, even if it's on coastal, especially coastal, because you have to have insurance, you're going to be taxed, all these things. I don't know if that would be I don't know what it would be, good reparations or anything, but I'm just thinking land, keep in mind that if that's your collateral to, let's say that because you're going to be taxed, and then you're going, even if you do build, you have to have the money to have.
You're saying you want to secede and that you want free land to be like Native Indians. If free land is given to blacks, they will just sell it. Taxes too high.
Licenses. And I mean, like, if this is not the case, if you get money to do all of this, then I think it's a great idea. So I'm just saying that to think about all the other things, the ins and outs, to get money, to get those licensures, and to build, you're going to have to go to a bank to get a loan, and to put down collateral to get that loan, it would have to be the land. And I'm not sure if a bank will give that money to with the land as collateral. I don't know. I've never done that before or anything. So if people who know have done that, like, people
Better yet, if your great-great-great-granddad was a slave on plantation, you no longer have to work. You can retire. Lies, scammers, fools. So fucking morons we have away. Jesus Christ.
That shot.
Oh man, yo, New Yorkers are hilarious. What part of New York are you from, dude?
Yeah, it's the type of that wants that my wife wants me to empty the dishwasher. That's sort of part I'm in New York from. Nice. Wake up.
Okay, this is called Delusions of Grandeur. Thank you for coming. I knew you were going to come. I'm so glad you came.
Hold on a second. You're talking about the federal government saying, okay, here's money to go buy land in whatever state you want. The state property taxes is what you're gonna have to pay. So like if you're not paying, no, you're not gonna be absolved. It's managed by the state. So the federal government is gonna have to pay your state property taxes if that's what you want, if that's the way you want.
Thanks for the reparations, federal government. Thanks for paying the taxes, and there it is.
So you expect the federal government to pay your taxes?
Absolutely.
Let me ask this question. Everybody's
in perpetuity.
Absolutely.
No, that's not reasonable. Hold on, Tom. Let me just say this.
Yeah.
What if the government? What if the government said no taxes for 20 years as part of reparations, as well as let's say 3 generations of free college at any college in America?
We don't want college.
Nobody
wants
hold on a second,
We know
Jamal, hold on a second. Everybody, hold on. I want to say good morning to Mr. Harrison. Mr. Harrison, how you doing? Mr. Harrison, are you there?
And we want it now.
Do you want to chime in, sir?
All fools.
I'm here. I'm listening.
I'm a white man from America. Grandparents came to us all in 1900. And now I need to pay black people for British enslavement. Delusional, low IQ people. We want free shit and we want it now. All
And let me be
fools.
very clear, I'm not saying that reparations shouldn't be done. I just think that there needs to be a lot of thought behind what they need to be so that you're not set up for failure. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Tone, what do you think about the conversation?
I mean, look, I'm originally from the U.S. I don't live in the U.S. anymore. I think I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm against reparations or I'm for reparations. You know, it is what it is. But what I will say is this: I've never been a person to, number one, settle or expect handouts. That's just me personally. Regardless of my background or where I come from, or I come from extremely humble beginnings, and I was able to provide myself the life that I want and be able to take care of my family the way I want. Now, I'm going to use this as an example. Where I currently live, if you are a local born citizen here, you are given certain perks. With those perks are provided medical, you're provided land, you're provided an interest-free loan, you don't pay for your wedding, you don't pay for your funeral, and any university in the world that you or your children get accepted to are going to be taken care of without hesitation. Now, why are they able to do that? Because in this country, less than 15% of the people that live here actually have the passport of the citizens here. It is a very small community of them. So their government is able to take care of them in this way. Another reason why this country is where it is because you cannot come here and just do business if you're not a local born citizen.
Tom, what country is that? Are you an Emirati?
It's the UAE,
Are
the
you an
United
Emirati?
Arab Emirates. Yes. So in the UAE, if you want to do business here, you have to have a local involved at some degree. For example, when Rolex came here and they opened up a store, the royal family gave that to a family, the Al Khouris. So Rolex said, okay, we're going to open up a store. The founder of the UAE said, okay, this family will be given this business. When Mercedes came, same thing, and so on and so forth. So when we're talking about a country like America, where everyone and anyone can have a passport, and you have a population as big as the US, something like this will never, ever, ever, ever in a million years work. That's the reason why we don't have healthcare in America. That is the reason why you have to take out insane loans to get an education. This is the reason why America is where it is currently right now. Because instead of taking care of our own people, we like sending billions of dollars to Ukraine, to Israel. We love to police the world. We love to not mind our own business. Therefore, we have issues in our own country, and we're not taken care of the way we're supposed to be taken care of, like in a country that I'm currently living in, where these people don't have to worry because this country isn't concerned about what's outside of the country. So I understand reparations. I get it. I know. I mean, again, I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood. Most of my friends were black. I understand the concept of reparations, but I think, number one, it'll never happen. Number two, it just can't work. It won't work. It's like I think it was Jay that mentioned the Indians. Like, the Indians weren't given, in a sense, reparation. What they were given was the land, and then in certain areas, you have them where, for example, in Florida, the Indians own all the casinos. They own every area in Florida where you can have casinos. So this is where the Indians get their money from. Every month.
Indigenous people.
I'm sorry, yeah, and the indigenous, and then they are given an allowance every month. That's why when. Yeah. Yeah, bro.
Reparations won't work, in my opinion, because you're not going to get an entire community to agree on what reparations would be. That's why I asked the question earlier. What does reparations look like? Because I'm just going to use some people as an example. Just an example, don't punch me. Jamal wants land where, let's say, Rachel wants $1 million. Just use an example. If you can't get the whole community on board, how can you actually give out reparations?
Yeah, you're
right. How do you
absolutely. And then, like, you brought up college, you brought up university, Jamal says, no, well, we don't want that. So it's kind of like, you know, they'll never be in agreement, and I just think financially it's just not possible at this point. This is why I'm getting at. I think things in the U.S. are out of control. And, like, look, man, I don't take for granted being American. I love the fact that I was born and raised there. But if you ask me now at this present moment, I've been living here in the UAE for 4 years. I have no intention of ever going back over there. I literally went, the last time I went there, 4 days, I called the office to book my flight back. The U.S. is in shambles right now, bro. And, like, it's sad to see. I don't think the U.S. at this point is the land of opportunity. I think it used to be. I think, and again, I know I'm probably younger than some of you. I'm 36 years old. But I'll tell you, the U.S. is not what it used to be. This whole, the greatest country in the world, I beg to differ, to be honest with you. Because there's so many places on this planet where you can live a genuine quality life for a fraction of the price.
And I agree with you, Tone, because I've been visiting Qatar. I've never felt the peace, other than Lake Havasu. I've never felt the peace that I feel in Qatar.
Rachel, the peace on this side of the world
is amazing.
Indescribable. I literally can leave on vacation for 2 weeks and my
complains to King George, you liars. Should vote Trump a Republican. 500,000 men killed each other to progress liberty and slavery for freedoms.
The first year I moved here, so I live here because the closest person I have 4 brothers from here, and his father's like a father figure to me. And when I moved here within the first week in the community, I just noticed a bunch of little kids running around, like, not a parent in sight, not an adult in sight. I go to my brother and I tell him, I'm like, bro, like, there's no, like, where are these kids' parents? They're like, what do you think this is, bro? America? You think kids are getting kidnapped out here? You think we have child molesters and rapists out here? That doesn't exist out here. It's a different.
No, I think he speakers involved as well. But I'll definitely say, listen, I love your energy and I agree with you. What makes America great? Military, big deal. We have political division in this country like we haven't had since the 60s. And we can't have a conversation of reparations when we don't know what that looks like. But let me jump to, I think Mr. Harrison wanted to jump in, and I want to get Brent down to have this conversation. Mr. Harrison, did you want to say something? All right, I'll circle back. Dr. Adams, what's up, Adams? Adams, are you there?
I'm here. I'm just waking up this morning and with some clothes on, get ready to go to work. But I'm gonna respectfully say I've never heard so much bullshit in my whole entire life. You go sit here and compare UIE over to Ladera Ranch, California. I suggest that the next time this man is in the United States, he should go to Ladera Ranch in Mission Viejo, California, right? Because there are plenty of people where they don't settle their neighbor disputes by launching rockets, right? They call it the neighborhood association. Their kids are able to play outside in gated communities and non-gated communities. So I encourage this man to do a little bit more, digging through ecosystems and neighborhoods in America before he just renders America a lost cause. And the other thing I'd like to say too is, if he hates America so badly and he couldn't stand to be here but for 4 days, he should give up his citizenship.
I would do it in a heartbeat. And for the record,
Keep complaining and crying.
I have 50 acres in California. So the people I control, I know California very well. And if I could give up my citizenship, my U.S. citizenship for naturalized passport, I would do it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Enjoy your taxes in California. Enjoy giving your hard-earned money to something that doesn't concern you. Enjoy that. I was on 60 acres in California.
Keep complaining and crying, trying to get free money from your fellow citizens, liars, scammers, fraudsters, fools.
First of all, just because you didn't join the Taliban don't mean that you get to overtalk motherfuckers, okay? I was in the middle of speaking and you cut me off. I don't give a fuck.
Could you not yell? We can understand you about yelling.
Can you not cut me off? Who the fuck are you?
Bitch!
Sorry.
I'm grateful.
I can tell you in the last 2 years with my American passport, I've damn near.
You lived in the hood. You lived in the hood. That's why your kids couldn't play outside. You lived in the hood.
But I lived in the hood.
You lived in the hood. People who live in nice neighborhoods in America, their kids can play outside.
Everybody meet up. Tone, hold on a second. Alex, bro, I don't mind the energy, but you gotta bring down the volume.
Okay, well then tell him to shut up and stop cutting people off.
But why?
Okay, but why am I in the middle of talking and he's running his fellatio?
Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna let you land your plane, but why are we disparaging this man's lived experience? I'm just curious.
Okay, well why is he trying to hijack my plane before I landed?
You came in here with a weird tone. You came in here with a weird energy, and I'm not with that.
And you came up in here with some Alhamdulillah, I hate America shit. So yeah, I'm a gangbang with you. Absolutely.
I hate America.
Give up your citizenship. Stay over there, and don't come back.
Stay over here.
Okay. Good. Stay over there and cry over America, right?
I will. My chef is bringing me food in 30 minutes. I will chill here. Beyond.
All right, let's move on.
I got a driver downstairs.
Ain't nobody give a fuck about your fake camel pretentious life.
All right. Like I said, we're gonna move on. I want to say good morning.
Questions?
Hold on, Kristen. Hold on a second. Let me say good morning to Brent. Let me say good morning to Brent real quick. What's up, Brent?
Hey, how are you? So it's interesting listening to that conversation. I guess you would call it a conversation. To say that the UAE only cares about itself, I think does not understand UAE foreign policy. There's a huge U.S. base there. The UAE has dealt with China. They do have a pretty active foreign policy. I guess what I would say is, since the discovery of petroleum below the sands of a lot of the Middle East, there are people in the Middle East that have been very fortunate, but the problem with that area economically, we'll exclude all the regional tensions for a while. The Iranians are still there. The problem with that area economically is they don't have a specialized economy. They are wholly dependent on that wealth, and they haven't developed a diversified economy. And then eventually the world will shift off of that, and there will be problems there.
But I think a lot of people thought they were scumbags, they were doing things that were illegal.
Yeah, they were just douchebags.
But they were just big douches. But then now we all think No, they're actually like legitimate. Some of like they're bad people, like they're pedophiles and they're bad people.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first. I thought they were just like, learning girls that wanted to get on cam, which is, it's like unethical, but like it's a thing that people do, whatever. But it's different when you start like have to see what they're saying and doing.
Andrew Tate's game of manipulation is coming to an end because it's like it was fun for a while to watch it play out, and now it's not fun anymore. And once it stops being fun, the internet is done with it. So the internet's like, okay, yeah, time for you to go to prison. We need a new thing. We need a new piece of entertainment, and you're not it.
Hey, will all these people who are so infatuated with reflect and figure out how they got bamboozled so easily?
Probably not. No, it's Sins are, listen, man, sins are there to be milked.
Yeah, but God forbid you question, the next quote-unquote role model.
Now let's look at what this makes up. I know this kid that's like 21. He used to be into Andrew Tate, and then you started talking about like, oh yeah, now he's a pedophile, done all this and this. That they dig into the information. There's a bunch of streamers that talk about it as well.
Yep.
You gotta put yourself and figure out how you were duped, so it doesn't happen again.
Well, I used to like Tate, but I didn't like follow him or like pay for any of his stuff. I just liked what he was saying when I first started hearing about
what was he saying. Well, it's like all the anti-censorship stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that part is easy. Anyone can pander to anyone's, world.
Right.
Just like it.
He was pandering to people who are conservatives, and it was effective because he was. You know why it was effective? Here's why, Brittany. I figured it out. It's because he was willing to say things that conservatives were thinking, but didn't want to bear the social cost of saying.
Okay. I'm not a conservative. I'm just a misogynist.
Yes. In JC's case. That's true. But yeah, like conservatives just didn't want to say this stuff. And it's not, what's funny? It's like if you ask me what things he was saying, it's nothing I can even remember that stands out, Because he was just like there at the right time saying the right thing, like a lot.
I just remember all of his comments about, and I mean, I didn't pay much attention to him at all until he got like the whole Romanian thing. And I just like went back and looked at some of his stuff, and I just remember all being about like fucking beta.
There is a lot of that. Like, I think his big message was like, don't be a weak pussy bitch. But then the crazy thing is like, that's who he makes money off of. Men that are weak pussy bitches.
Yeah, when he like markets it, does he literally say like, if you're a simp to my university?
I watched this thing. There was a Vice reporter that did a documentary on him. You should watch it. It's interesting. And he has this thing called the War Room, or the War Count, some shit like that. It's like some stupid shit. And he takes all these guys who've flown into Romania from all over the fucking place. And they are, they're whatever. They're all just normal type dudes. They're fucking accountants and losers and whatever, who all have this like delusion of grandeur of, becoming rich and successful and having hot women sleep with them. Like that's why they all come, and they think that Tate can be their guru to teach them how to be one of these kind of men, etc. And Tate doesn't give a fuck about any of these guys. He views them all as simps to be milked. Pocket and to glorify himself. And he goes, tonight you're going to fight a trained MMA fighter. These are normal dudes. They're like accountant type dudes, right? And he's like, it's gonna happen in the next 30 minutes, okay? Now you can back out, but if you do back out, you need to like write a letter to the group telling us why you're a weak pussy, And then like a few guys who are smart back out, and then write the letter where they tell them, say they're weak pussies, so they get psychologically
abused. So they back out, go into the ring, and they all get mauled by a UFC fighter. He get physically abused at the hands of Tate. Tate has abused.
I don't know if I was breaking up right now.
You see the whole playbook he's running, and
Yeah, he's going in and out of the Matrix.
in that shit.
Yeah, we lost you for the hand half of that.
But just to wrap up, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
The basic point is that he's psychologically, financially, and physically abusing everyone he comes into contact with. That's what Andrew Tate does.
Okay. And that makes him an alpha male, right?
He's just a fucking psychopath. He's a Machiavellian, dark triad trait psychopath. And he had some alpha male credentials because he was a kickboxer who had some success. He likes to say he was a world champion, but which is more alpha than most, but does not make an alpha. Being an alpha, by the way, is not something you can proclaim you are. It's it's a label that other people bestow on you. Because when somebody's the fucking man, they're the fucking man.
Yeah.
Nobody has to tell. Tom Brady doesn't have to say, I'm an alpha male. He's Tom Brady. He shows up to anywhere, and the whole room is about him and his presence. That's what it is to be an alpha male. Jocko Willink is the Navy SEAL guy. His guy's on a podcast and shit.
No.
Have you never seen a picture?
Yeah, I know Jocko.
This guy, Brittany, you gotta look at a picture of this guy. This guy has a square head. He looks like a Lego, And he's a former Navy SEAL who talks like this, right? And he has never. I don't think he has ever referred to himself as an alpha male, But he is the quintessential alpha male. You just look at this guy, you're like, yes, this is what it looks like when your testosterone level is naturally 2,000.
He's the guy that wrote Relentless, right?
No, that's Tim Kroger wrote that book.
Oh, okay.
But his podcast is, I forget what it's called. But he's just super alpha. He's like the type of dude who went to war and didn't get PTSD. He got nostalgia.
Oh, I think it was that psycho.
It's like, man, when I was killing all those people,
That's
this is what I was alive.
I will say that's kind of big. You need guard border.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Listen, we like alpha males. Alpha males are good. It's not like it's bad to be an alpha male. It's bad to be a fake alpha male. That is negative.
A predatory alpha male. He wrote the Dichotomy of Leadership. That was the book. That's confusing.
Hey, you know what? You could tell an alpha male based on how he treats women. Andrew Tate failed that, but people just fucking looked over it. Yeah, I would say most of the guys I would consider actual alpha males. It's more of a thing where people just gravitate to them in real life. It's a natural charisma they have. It's their presence. it's their physical stature, it's a lot of things, but people just gravitate towards them.
Yeah. Well, somebody in the chat said that Andrew Tate has broken no laws. However, what politics?
No, but he actually did fuck a 15-year-old girl, so that is breaking law.
That's an example of someone who's going to refuse to admit that they were raped. Also known as a sucker.
They kicked me.
To me, American slavery is the biggest shame in this country. I don't care what anybody says. Like, you could just look how it's continued to permeate through history, through generations. Like, this thing is consistent, and all it did was reform itself over a period of time, and a direct cause to hurt and hinder the black community.
So let me kind of narrate. So I don't disagree with all that. American slavery was terrible, and the treatment of African Americans after American slavery was also terrible. I mean, the Reconstruction and the crushing of African American political power in the South, terrible. Jim Crow laws, terrible. And then redlining, also terrible. But that has had a direct effect in the material, and that has had a
which continues to, like, it has never stopped. Persecution of blacks in this country has never stopped.
Yeah, incarceration policy in the U.S. disproportionately affects poor people, which disproportionately have a higher representation of the African American community because of all the harm I just mentioned. My only point is, politically and practically, and for the benefit of the vast majority, it would be far better to think of this on the basis of class versus race. The reality is African Americans make up, I want to say, 13 or 14% of the population. That's not going to be a voting bloc to have any sort of large democratic change.
Hold on. Hold on. Why did it come down to a vote in an election when it should just be the right thing to do?
That's because our voice not big enough to get after they is all I heard. Y'all don't have a big enough conversation. Y'all can't make enough noise in the voting box, so therefore the country don't have to pay its debt. That's fucking that's
Country gotta pay its debts.
Well, the reality of it is, like I said,